The Edmonton Oilers are dangerous after taking the 2-1 series lead on the Dallas Stars in the Western Conference Finals. We're going to talk about some crazy stats to why they're having so much success and discuss why they're on their way back to a Stanley Cup final. But before we get into all that, we just want to thank all you guys for getting us to our goal at 16,000 subscribers. Appreciate everybody for your support here on the channel. If you want to stay up to date on the latest NHL news all off season long, all playoffs long, make sure down below and hit that subscribe button. But we got a lot to talk about today, Oilers fans, as they go out and they stomp the Dallas Stars in a big way in a matinee game on a Sunday afternoon. Oh boy, what a game this was. 6-1 for the Edmonton Oilers, taking the 2-1 series lead. And do I tell you, that Edmonton arena looked electric. I love the smoke machine behind the net when they score. Oh, that team looks scary. And that building, what electricity that was flowing through it today. You could see the players really feeding off of that energy, and they did so in a big way with a 6-1 victory. And if we just take a look, Zach Hyman goes out, gets back-to-back goals. Connor McDavid has 2 in the game as well. Bouchard gets 1 from the point, and Klingberg. How about John Klingberg getting 1 against his former team? Shout out John Klingberg. I don't think he gets enough love on this Edmonton Oilers team, but oh, what a great game for Oilers fans. I know Oilers are the only hope for Canada to bring back another cup, so I'm rooting for them, and that performance today was amazing. The team looked on another level, and you just take a look at the game score here from Hockey Stat Cards on Twitter. They have Zach Hyman at over 5 game score here. That's how good of a game he had. Other games, other guys, Evan Bouchard, I think is a guy who gets disrespected a lot around the league, but he is a very solid defenseman and has been so for a while. A great offensive guy, maybe lacking some defense at times, but he has been great for this Edmonton Oilers team. Nuge up there too with the 4 game score on this, and then obviously you got the big guys like McDavid and Draisaitl, and the list goes on, and it was just a great showing all around for the Edmonton Oilers in this game. But there is one guy that we haven't talked about that stands out in my mind here, and that is Stuart Skinner. In the 4 wins they've had in this postseason, in the 4 games or the 4 wins he's had in this postseason, he has a .24 goals against average, a .991 save percentage, and 3 shutouts. That is ridiculous numbers. Stuart Skinner is completely locked in this playoffs, and I know the big joke going around the NHL community is you don't know what Stuart Skinner you're going to get. You're either getting the best goalie in the league, a Vezina candidate, or he's letting weak ones in. But lately, Stuart Skinner has been dialed. He's been making some incredible game-saving saves and has been shutting down maybe the hottest offense in the playoffs in the Dallas Stars. He has looked phenomenal. He is definitely the goalie going forward. There was no question about putting Calvin Pickard in net at all anymore, because Stuart Skinner is your guy, and when it comes to clutch scenarios, he is going to be the guy that goes out there and shuts it down. I mean, 991 in 4 games is ridiculous. I think that means he's only allowed 1 goal. I think that obviously they only allowed 1 goal today, which led to him not having a shutout, but incredible stuff from Stuart Skinner, a guy who does get disrespected a lot around the league as well, but I think when push comes to shove in the playoffs, he is completely locked in, and as we keep going on, the stash keeps growing, and I think that's what the hidden power is definitely the stash that he has. But moving on forward, I think this is definitely one that Oilers fans are going to love to see and some Leafs fans are probably not going to want to see. As playoff goals since 2022, Zach Hyman has 35, Nylander, Matthews, and Marner combined have 37 goals. So who won that deal? Obviously the Leafs let Hyman walk to the Edmonton Oilers, and they've been really honing in the benefits of that ever since. I mean, being a top goal scorer last year, and whenever McDavid can find him in front of from the net. That puck is getting redirected to the top corner. He is such a good player in front of the net, and we've seen him have a great breakaway goal in this. As I bring up the highlights, we were talking about this is obviously McDavid's goal. Great snipe, but here is Zach Hyman coming in on the breakaway, and he just roofs it over Otter there, and we've just seen this all season long from Zach Hyman. He's been a great goal scorer for this team since he joined, and like I said, he's almost beaten Matthews, Nylander, and Marner combined, and maybe by the end of this playoffs, he will beat that stat line. I just thought that was an interesting one to throw at you guys here, but this is the one I wanted to talk about, and that is Connor McDavid, because we know how good Connor McDavid is. My best player in the world right now. I think there's not a lot of people that would go against me in that. I think he is the best hockey player in the world and has been for a very long time. And as we see here from hockey stat cards and Big Head Hockey, he's in the 100th percentile offensively, the best in the world. He is number one in that percentile for offense. And we know how good he is offensively. He can weave through defenders like it's nothing and just put the puck in the top corner, below the blocker, wherever position he picks, he can put the puck in the back of the net, and he can also pass with the best of them as well. And seeing here now, this is the thing that I wanted to talk about that doesn't get talked about a lot with McDavid, is his defensive play. He's in the 95th percentile, which puts him 9th best in the world for defensive play. And I think in this playoffs, as they see here, this might be the best version of McDavid we've seen, at least the Stanley Cup version of McDavid. I think his defensive play in this playoffs has been unmatched. It's something we haven't seen before. I mean, he's very active with his stick. He's breaking up a lot of plays. He's intercepting a lot of passes, and he's even getting physical as well. I think this McDavid he wants to get back and win the Stanley Cup because he knows how hard it was for him and Draisaitl, Skinner, all these guys that were there last year, Hyman, to get right there to Game 7 to then lose. That is the worst feeling as a hockey player in the NHL, and he is just on his revenge tour now. He wants to win this Stanley Cup, and I think he would like to do it against the Florida Panthers, because it's looking like they're going to get there on the other side in the Eastern Conference, but he is a different beast right now. Obviously, they say 22 points in 14 games and playing elite defense. McDavid is playing some great hockey, and I think he is really going to take the stranglehold on this series and get back to the Stanley Cup final. When you have the best player in the world on your team, you can't bet against him. And I really do think, at this point, I do think they're going back to the Stanley Cup final just because of how good this team has been playing. And it's not just through guys like McDavid and Draisaitl this year. It is coming through, the bottom six as well. We're seeing a lot of offense trickling down throughout this team. Yes, Draisaitl and McDavid and Hyman are still getting a lot of goals, but we're also seeing guys like Corey Perry and guys in the bottom six starting to step up and score some goals for this team, which we didn't see last year. So I think, maybe the new look Oilers, I think this looks like a Stanley Cup winning team. There's no doubt in my mind about that. I mean, like I said, we see the offense trickling down here. Obviously, Nuge getting a goal today. Evander, Kane being up there with 10 points in 13 games. Connor Brown, a guy who's had a great series, as a great postseason in general as well. I mean, having 8 points, 5 goals. He's tipped in a lot of goals there, parked on from the net. Has been showed up to be a great player, and like a guy I mentioned too, in Corey Perry. That's the reason this team's been so successful, is because they're not just relying on McDavid and Draisaitl to go out there and get 40 points between them, but they're just taking it. The bottom six is taking it in their own hands and going out and burying the puck as well. And that's what the difference is right now with the Edmonton Oilers in this playoffs. I mean, if we just take a look, they're second in goals with 55, and their goal differential is second, which means, they have 14 in the difference, which I think 3 shutouts from Stuart, Skinner and 4 wins is definitely going to help you get up there in the goal differential category. As well, save percentage, they're 6th with a 8.94. Shot percentage is 4th, and their shots is 3rd. I mean, they're averaging about 31 shots per game right now. I mean, this Edmonton Oilers team is definitely one to keep an eye out for. I think after watching, the Oilers consistently throughout this playoffs, I think they look different than what they did last year when they went and ran through the West. I think they look even better. McDavid is chomping at the bit to get back to the Cup final, so the Edmonton Oilers are dangerous when McDavid is like that, and they are even more dangerous than they were last season. I think this year, I'm going to knock on wood for Oilers fans here, could be the year that they get it done. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below on the Edmonton Oilers. What do you think's different about this team that's making them so successful? Love to hear from you guys down there. But as always, I've been your host, KC. Keep your stick on the ice.